Select the representations that do not change the location of the polar point 2 comma minus 3 pi fourths. And then we have 4 other polar points listed. And so the question to me really is, which of these 4 things actually plot that same point, or another representation of that point? So I'm going to start just by plotting this polar point at 2 comma minus 3 pi fourths. I know I'm 2 units away from the origin, and so I rotate to the angle of minus 3 pi fourths. So minus 1 pi fourth, minus 2 pi fourths, minus 3 pi fourths. And then I'm on that second circle out. So as long as I can trace through on that line, 1, 2, I'm that polar point right there. That's the one we're trying to land on each time. Now I can probably look at a few of these and just rule them out from the beginning. Right, like if I think about positive 2 comma minus 7 pi fourths, that can't land here, right? Because I'm rotating further than the minus 3 pi over 4, but I'm not going all the way around. In fact, I'm landing right up here, and that's going to plot a point in the first quadrant. So in part A, that's not going to be my answer because I get the wrong point, right? In part A here, I get the wrong point. So A's out. I know that's going to change the location of my point, and I probably could have looked at that one and figured it out, but I feel safe having plotted the point. 2 comma positive 5 pi fourths, all right? So I'm 2 units away. There's hope with the radius. In fact, all of these have hope with the radii, right? If the value of r wasn't 2 or minus 2, there'd be no hope of having the same point. So I'm really just thinking about angles. And so if I go to 5 pi fourths, well, I do end right here at that same spot. So one of the places where I don't change the location of that point is B, right? B is going to be one of my answers. In part C, I have to go to minus 2 comma minus pi fourths. Well, I think I'm ending up in the wrong quadrant there, right? Because I rotate down here to minus pi fourths, and the minus 2 sends me through the origin to right here. So C is not one of my answers. And then finally, minus 2 comma minus 7 pi over 4. And I feel like this one has a shot. All right, because I know if I rotate this way to minus 7 pi over 4, I end up on this previously plotted point in part A, but now that minus 2 reflects me through the pole, and I end up back at that point I was trying to end on anyway. So that tells me I have two points listed down here that don't change my location. B and D plot the same polar point as this one, where A and C end up in the wrong quadrant. Of course, there are infinitely many other ways of writing down that polar point. In fact, if you wanted to challenge yourself right now, you could just write down a few other ways of expressing that same polar point down here in quadrant number 3.